This ranking breaks down every Eminem album by what he was fighting on why it mattered. 12th. Revival. By the time Revival was released, Eminem was fighting on multiple fronts. Critics questioned his relevance, political tensions dominated public conversation, and his legacy hovered over every creative decision. Revival reflects an artist attempting to address all of those pressures simultaneously. Technically, Eminem remains sharp throughout the album. His verses are controlled and deliberate, often impressive on a purely mechanical level. The issue lies in focus. Much of Revival feels reactive, shaped by commentary surrounding Eminem rather than a clear internal urgency driving the music forward. The frustration is present, but the conflict feels distant. Without a single defining enemy, the album struggles to cohere, leaving Revival sounding more defensive than driven. 11th. Infinite. Infinite captures Eminem at the very beginning, long before fame or controversy entered the picture. At this point, he was fighting invisibility, trying to survive financially while earning respect in a competitive underground scene. The technical ability is already evident. His rhyme schemes are intricate, and his discipline as a rapper is clear. What Infinite lacks is a fully formed identity. Eminem's delivery and cadence echo the artists he admired, particularly East Coast lyricists of the era, making the album feel more like an apprenticeship than a statement. Infinite works best as a snapshot of potential. The fight is real, but the voice hasn't fully arrived yet. 10th. Encore. Encore arrives when Eminem's fame is at its peak and his personal stability is quietly deteriorating. The album reflects that imbalance, alternating between moments of sincerity and stretches of unfocused indulgence. On its strongest tracks, Encore offers insight into Eminem's internal strain, particularly when he turns his attention toward family, conflict, and the emotional toll of constant visibility. Elsewhere, the album drifts into juvenile humor and scattered ideas, suggesting an artist struggling to maintain creative discipline. It feels like an album made during a loss of control. The talent remains intact, but the fight against burnout and addiction leaves the project uneven. 9th. Relapse. Relapse emerges after one of the darkest periods of Eminem's life. The loss of proof and a near-fatal overdose forced him into recovery, and the album documents the process of rebuilding himself as an artist. The exaggerated accents, horror imagery, and relentless rhyme density reflect obsession and repetition. Relapse sounds like Eminem reasserting control through extreme technical focus, using discomfort as a form of discipline. The presentation divides listeners, but the emotional core is genuine. This album captures a fight for stability and survival, even when its approach creates distance. Music to be murdered by. By 2020, Eminem's fight had shifted. Survival was no longer the concern. Instead, he was fighting to remain sharp and competitive in a rapidly evolving genre dominated by younger voices. Music to be murdered by functions as a technical showcase. Eminem moves confidently across modern production styles, collaborating with artists from multiple generations while maintaining his lyrical edge. The album succeeds in proving skill and adaptability. The stakes, however, feel lower than on his most emotionally driven projects, keeping it firmly in the middle of the ranking. 7th. Kamikaze. Kamikaze arrived with little warning, fueled by negative reception to Revival. Eminem responded directly, confronting critics, commentators, and fellow rappers who questioned his relevance. The energy is immediate and confrontational. Eminem sounds motivated by pride and embarrassment, delivering sharp verses over contemporary beats. The urgency gives the album its strength. As a complete project, the intensity proves difficult to sustain. Kamikaze thrives as a reaction, but its impact fades once the initial confrontation passes. 6th. The Death of Slim Shady. On the Death of Slim Shady, Eminem turns inward, examining the character that defined much of his career. The album grapples with whether Slim Shady still belongs in modern rap and what moving forward requires. The tone balances humor and reflection. Eminem acknowledges generational shifts without hostility, positioning himself as an elder figure rather than a provocateur. This album reflects a fight against stagnation, confronting legacy with intention and clarity. Fifth, the Marshall Mathers LP2. Carrying the name of his most iconic album, the Marshall Mathers LP2 arrives with built-in expectations. Eminem approaches the project with focus, aiming to reassert his place in the rap hierarchy. The performances are technically ferocious, and the confidence feels earned. Rather than chasing the chaos of the original, Eminem opts for precision and control. The album's tension comes from confronting legacy without attempting to recreate it, giving the project its strength. Fourth, recovery. Recovery marks a clear turning point. Emerging sober and focused, Eminem sounds revitalized, driven by the need to rebuild both personally and professionally. The album reflects resilience and forward momentum. Eminem approaches his writing with urgency, determined to reestablish trust with his audience and himself. Recovery succeeds in restoring his cultural relevance, shaping the direction of his career moving forward. Third, the Eminem Show. At the height of his influence, Eminem released The Eminem Show as a statement of control. Producing much of the album himself, he expands his focus beyond controversy to address politics, family, and public accountability. The album feels grounded despite its scale. Eminem sounds aware of his influence and comfortable wielding it, balancing confidence with introspection. This project captures him fully in command of his power. Second, the Slim Shady LP. The Slim Shady LP introduces Eminem with urgency and hunger. Fueled by frustration and ambition, the album thrives on risk and unpredictability. Slim Shady grants him freedom to explore extremes, turning desperation into propulsion. Every track feels driven by the need to be heard. This album represents ignition, the moment where pressure first transformed into momentum. First, the Marshall Mathers LP. The Marshall Mathers LP arrives amid overwhelming attention. Fame accelerates, scrutiny intensifies, and expectations multiply. Eminem responds with his most focused and volatile work. The writing is confrontational and precise, blending personal reflection with cultural critique. Eminem sounds both empowered and cornered, operating with total clarity under immense pressure. This album captures the point where conflict, focus, and intensity align completely. That convergence defines his career, making the Marshall Mathers LP the strongest expression of Eminem at his most dangerous. If you made it this far, you care about the music. Leave a comment with the album you'd move up or down, and subscribe for more long-form music breakdowns like this.